We've been talking about LeBron James and the report that came out that he wanted Carmelo Anthony to join the Lakers, but he had not talked to the front office about it and was not going to talk to the front office about it. And I think LeBron just wanted to throw his guy a lifeline and say, hey, somebody wants Melo. You know, it's the narrative right now is nobody wants him. LeBron was saying, hey, I want him. All right, but that narrative didn't last very long because a report by Brad Turner of the Los Angeles Times, longtime LA media member, knows what he's talking about, plenty of sources. He tweeted that the Lakers have absolutely, positively no interest, none, in acquiring Carmelo Anthony. Now, that's not shocking. None of us thought they would, but he put that story to rest. And look, Carmelo Anthony is still good enough to play in the NBA. I don't think he'll play in the NBA anymore. I think he's done. That's why I said 2 months ago he should retire. But he looks around. When you look around at some of the guys on rosters, some of the guys even getting minutes, yeah, Carmelo Anthony is a better player than them. The problem now, though, is he doesn't fit anymore, especially at his age. If he was 20, I would contend, maybe some people would disagree, I would contend that if he was young Melo, he still would be a very good player in this league. LaMarcus Aldridge is a mid-range shooter. DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range shooter. They're doing just fine. Heck, now, he's not as good as Kevin Durant, but as great a shooter as Kevin Durant is from three, Kevin Durant gets buckets from mid-range. That's the misconception about the Warriors. Klay Thompson gets buckets in the mid-range. Yeah. So it's not like you can't shoot mid-range jumpers unless you play for the freaking Houston Rockets.
But I think the difference, Chris, is that Klay is coming off screens. Remember, he scored something like 60 points with like 10 dribbles. Carmelo is get the ball stop it, everybody's looking, he's trying to make a move. Like, that NBA is done. Ain't nobody do that anymore. I don't think right now there's a spot for him in the NBA. Let me give you a case.
But not because the way, some of it's the way he plays, but it's more so because he's just old and he can't be a star on the team anymore.
We know
not good enough
a leopard doesn't
age.
Change his spots at 34 years old.
Right.
He's not suddenly going to be like, okay, let's pass and let me play defense. He doesn't try to play defense. There was a stat earlier this season, probably why he got dumped in Houston. He had missed more shots than he had like steals, blocks, rebounds combined. Essentially, he was doing nothing but taking shots. And he's not making them like he did 5 and 6 years ago. I don't think there's a place in this league for Melo, but I want to use a comparison of how the league has changed. So TJ McConnell came out of college, and he was on some of those bad Sixers teams when they were winning like 12, 15 games. Right. I'm like, how is TJ McConnell in the league? TJ McConnell's a really good player. Hold on.
You jumped on me.
Well, let me
for calling Carmelo Anthony great, and you just called TJ McConnell
a really
good.
Yes,
TJ McConnell is a nice little role player.
Exactly.
That's it. Nice little role player and really good player are two different things. Just tone it down a little. That's all I'm saying.
The Sixers drafted Markelle Fultz, right? And Markelle Fultz was the number 1 pick. He's awesome. He's a really good player. And he can't do anything on this Sixers team.
Well, that's
they were willing to say, dude, go get your mind right. Get up out of here. We've got TJ McConnell, who's more valuable to us as a distributor, a plucky little defender like Matthew Dellavedova was. Sorry for the white guy analogy. But TJ McConnell makes shots. You go look at that Boston series. TJ McConnell had a good playoff series for what he is. And he is a guy adapting. Here's what I do well. Here's what they want me to do. Yes, sir. Carmelo Anthony should have fallen in line in OKC.
But that's what, Jason.
And now Houston.
That's what I'm saying. The problem with Carmelo is he's not good enough to be the lead guy anymore or even a part of a big 2 or big 3 on a good team. And he doesn't want to accept just being a role player. Allen Iverson went out the same way. Allen Iverson could have played 3-4 more years if he had just accepted coming off the bench, being a spark off the bench. He couldn't, which is fine. And so he was out of the game prematurely. That's what's going to happen to Melo. But it's not because he's not good enough.
Yeah.
The reason there's not a spot is because if I'm the Phoenix Suns, if I'm another bad team in the league, Brooklyn Nets or something like that, then I don't want to bring in Melo because it stunts the growth of the young guys I'm trying to develop. And if anything, it may hurt my chances of being as bad as I want to be so I can get a high lottery pick.
I got to be honest. I don't know right now that I'd rather have Melo on my team than like Josh Jackson in Phoenix. I mean,
Josh Jackson's a young guy. You want to see what he can do. That's my point.
Can he play? Here's what Carmelo did, Chris. In 6 playoff games last year, remember they lost to the Jazz. They got blown out. Wait, Chris.
No, Jason, I'm stopping you. Because Melo in his 15th year, we know he's not that good anymore.
But you're making the case that he's good. He's still good enough to play.
He is good enough to be in the NBA.
Let me give you the stats then. Let me give you the stats. Last year in the playoffs, in the NBA playoffs, 32 minutes a game against the Jazz, shot 37%. That's not good. 21% on three-pointers. That is awful. That's unplayable. Okay? They were rolling with dudes who can't shoot.
You said,
Carmelo.
Say that again.
Carmelo last year in the first round playoff lost to Utah.
No.
Okay?
What's unplayable?
He played 32 minutes a game, shot 37 from the field, 21 from 3.
Okay.
And he basically did nothing else.
Shooting 21% from three-point range is unplayable?
Well, if you're not playing defense.
Because your boy T.J. McConnell, who you just said is really good, is a 22% three-point shooter.
That's better than Carmelo last year.
22%
as a backup point guard.
Three-point shooter.
Yeah, and what's he making?
You said that was really good.
What's T.J. McConnell making?
You didn't bring in money.
Well, all that matters, Chris. You can't just say one thing matters.
My point to you is this. I can name many players in the NBA still that Carmelo Anthony is better than. But
at his position or overall?
Better than, period. But what happens is, like a T.J. McConnell. T.J. McConnell does say, let me go play a role. And he'll play Matthew Dellavedova. Melo is better than Matthew
Dellavedova. Well, they're different positions. Let me find a
position or whatever.
Joe Ingles.
I'm just saying, Ingles plays a role. Like, trust me, it's easier to be a role player. Like, Melo's problem is he still wants to be one of the top dogs.
Who would you rather have, Michael Beasley or Melo right now?
I don't want either, really. I mean, but they're very similar. My point is just that Melo's problem is if Vince Carter, who's still in the league for his 21st year, if Vince Carter was like, yo, I still need to be getting 32 minutes a night. I still need to be getting my 18 shots. He'd be out of the league. He's in the league because he has accepted, I will play 12 minutes a night. Some nights I will play 7 minutes. Some nights I will play 11. I will take 2 shots some nights. He's fine with that. If Melo was willing to do that, he could still be in the NBA. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, he's in Atlanta.
Right now.
Oof.
Now,
so he's just stealing money.
The thing is this, there was a good story on ESPN.com about the way that the league has changed. The game has changed. You've alluded to this a few times in the show. And as you said, Melo is from that bygone era. He's a mid-range shooter. Bernard King was a mid-range shooter. Kobe Bryant was a mid-range shooter. Michael freaking Jordan was a mid-range shooter. I mean, all the great players of yesteryear were mid-range shooters. So let's not just act like, oh, Melo, just because he's a mid-range shooter. They all were. But the game has changed. And has it changed for the better? Do you think it's changed for the better?
I love
the
current NBA, don't you? I mean, the ratings are massive. I know they're down a little bit in the regular season now. But for the finals, when you get the Warriors in there, Chris, here's the stat I had on my Saturday radio show about a month ago, okay? 5 years ago, that's it, just 5 years ago, 11 teams were attempting 23 threes a night. Just 11, 1/3 of the league was attempting 23 threes a night. Every single team in the league right now is attempting 23 threes a night. That's an increase from 11 to 30. Everybody's doing the threes now.
Okay.
You can't win with just the mid-range. Well, the league has changed significantly, and if I'm a player
what
right
I
now,
ask you is that we know it's changed.
But here,
that good?
The next
is
player.
The change
I
good?
think it's great. I know you're kind of on the other side. You and Colin Cowherd, a couple other guys. I like scoring. I think as we're seeing in the NFL, offense is up, ratings are up, interest is up. What's the famous saying? Defense wins championships and offense puts butts in the seats or whatever it is. And right now,
I don't know if that's it, but
I got to be honest. The Lakers,
I know what you mean.
The Lakers, I'm watching them every night. I think they tip off soon here. We got to get that on the tube. But they don't play a lick of defense. And
what?
They are the Lakers this year?
Yeah.
They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league, Chris.
They're ranked 9th in defensive efficiency.
I mean, come on, dude. They're giving up like 118
Jason,
a night.
You can't go by points. You go by field goal
They
percentage.
can't get stops
you
at
go
the
by,
end of big games.
They're ranked 9th in the NBA in defensive efficiency.
I don't think they're
No,
a good defensive team.
listen. The first 7 games or so, they were horrendous.
Yeah. Then they traded
that
for they got
tells you,
Chandler,
not even just Chandler. It began before Chandler got with them. They're ranked 9th in the league now in defensive efficiency. That's as big a reason for their turnaround as anything.
I would give it to LeBron, but we'll credit you
Well,
with that.
of course, LeBron's a big part of it, a huge part of it. But they're playing better defense. That's undeniable.
And
you
the teams,
want referencing stats. I mean, reference that stat.
Here are the stats. The teams that are playing defense now are at the top of the league. Oklahoma City, they're pretty good. They've
Toronto,
played
Milwaukee.
Well, wait a
Lakers.
sec. Top 5. Oklahoma City, pretty good. They played a weak schedule. Boston, kind of struggling. I don't know if we'll
won
talk
their
about
last
them.
5 games.
I
They're
like them a lot.
They're
Eventually they'll be
around.
there. Indiana, bleh.
Having a decent
Memphis, off to a hot start. They will fade. And number 5 is Denver, which is a bit fraudulent.
Well, hold on. Don't even try to make a point that defense doesn't matter with what you just said.
Well,
all 5 of those teams are playing really good basketball.
Okay, well, should we go to the offensive side and see what's going on with
I don't
offensive
know what
efficiency?
Point you're trying to
well,
make.
I'm just saying offense is more important. Look at Golden State, number 1, Milwaukee, number 2, Toronto, number 3. Like right now in this era, it ain't about defense. It's about threes and scoring and possessions and efficiency, and threes are more efficient than mid-range jumpers. We know that. I think it's great for the game.